What's up guys, Lego the Pencil here, and let's ask a question. Can Meliodas destroy a planet? To put it very simply, the answer to the question is yes, and so can other characters. Also, he's very likely stronger than that, rather easily. However, considering where 7 Deadly Sins is right now in the purview of people outside of the people who actively scale it, I know I will have to substantiate that claim, which is fine, but before I do, I simply ask you to open your mind and get ready for quite the discussion. Now, 7 Deadly Sins is a series with constantly evolving metas in terms of speed, power, basically everything, and that comes from people just constantly rereading the series, gaining access to data books, light novels, so on and so forth. With the future release of the sequel series, Four Knights of the Apocalypse coming up, I imagine the verse is going to get even more powerful. Thus, the scaling in this video can and will likely be outdated soon enough, but only in the sense that my interpretation will soon be considered lowballs, or at least that's what I'm thinking. I know some of the 7 Deadly Sins fans are going to consider what I'm saying lowballs right this instant, the moment this video goes up, but hey, that's fine. So, the particular way I'm referring to get Meliodas and many other characters to planetary and honestly way higher is something that I came up with, which I dub the lore meta. This meta specifically takes the lore given by the series through statements within the manga, with a simple game of connecting the dots stacked on top of it in order to get to where the meta says the verse is in terms of power. The main lore factors to address in this meta are the creation of the Celestial Realm and the Demon World, Sun and or Sunshine, and the creation of the 10 Commandments / the 4 Archangels. Just remember for the future that every commandment and every Archangel scales to a solid, stated portion of the Demon King and Supreme Deity. We know the Celestial Realm and the Demon World are completely separate dimensions from the Mortal Realm, or basically the regular universe, because both require specific portals to reach, such as the portal in the Light of Grace that Melascula turns into a Demon Realm portal in Chapter 210, and the Demon World portal that Merlin creates in Chapter 310. The Celestial Realm and Demon World are points disconnected to the main universe that require external means to reach, and simply cannot be reached by regular transportation such as foot or flight. You need these specific portals or gates just as you need to be transported to the separate dimensions made by the Archangels, which means that the Demon World and the Celestial Realm are both separate dimensions and spaces from the regular world. The Demon World is so different from the main universe, in fact, that Merlin states that only the Demon Clan is able to survive there, along with Elizabeth due to her abilities, while Meliodas implies that Purgatory beasts like Hawk would be able to survive there as well. Both of these dimensions were created by the Demon King and Supreme Deity according to Chapter 337, meaning they did not exist in the world that Chaos initially created. We also know that Mael's Grace, Sun, and Escanor's Power, a renamed version of the Grace, Sunshine, requires a sun, or basically bare minimum dwarf star, to function. We also know that this is extremely specific, as even a demon as weak as Base Chandler can simply exist and create a version of night to block out the sun and forcefully revert Escanor due to the sun being blocked out. So, for the Sun Grace to work in that area, it requires a dwarf star that is not blocked out by anything, or else the Grace will fail to activate. Since the dwarf star that the Earth goes around is in the mortal plane and not in the Celestial Realm, the separate dimension from the mortal plane, it would be impossible for the Sun Grace to activate unless the Celestial Realm itself contains a dwarf star. If a layer of darkness can block the sun out, so can dimensional walls. If you think not, I don't really know what to say to you. Moving on, we have seen that the Sun Grace does activate in the Celestial Realm, as shown by Mael wielding its power against both Belian and Meliodas when the two demons invade the Celestial Realm in the flashback manga chapter 279.5. That means that a dwarf star has to exist in that dimension as well, or else the power wouldn't activate, but it does. Mael specifically questions what demon's darkness can dare stand up to his sun, his Grace, meaning the dimension has a sun and that the Grace is active. We also know that the Supreme Deity created the Celestial Realm herself, not Chaos or any of the other beings in the verse, according to Chapter 337, where we learn of the creation of the Celestial Realm by the Supreme Deity. Specifically, the realm itself is being created, the dimension, not a place within it. The Celestial Realm dimension, which we know is a separate dimension due to not residing in the mortal plane and needing external sources to access, did not exist before the Supreme Deity. It had to be created by her after she was created by Chaos. She did not move into the Celestial Realm, she did not move into another dimension that previously existed, she created the dimension and the goddess race herself according to Chapter 337. The Lady of the Lake, a character separate from both the Demon King and Supreme Deity, who is explicitly impartial to all events and simply recites what had happened, explicitly using the word created, which means it was not in existence before the Supreme Deity created it. Due to this, it means she also had to create the dwarf star inside the celestial realm for Mael's grace to work, due to previous showings of Mael's grace not working in a place without a sun. The reason we know the dwarf star is part of the realm she made is because the realm is completely cut off from the regular universe, and she created the realm and everything in it herself according to chapter 337. That means there's no way a star could have accidentally drifted from the mortal realm to her own, because that's impossible. Last I checked, stars don't just drift through dimensions. The mortal realm and the celestial realm are two separate places that do not overlap, meaning the supreme deity had to create the star in her realm herself. That is where I get bare minimum dwarf star level for the supreme deity. Where I get the Demon King creating the demon world and it being equal in size to the celestial realm is due to the fact that the Demon King and supreme deity are constantly referenced to and stated as equals. For them being equals, both were created at the exact same time, neither one could overpower the other, both are in a constant war with each other that never seems to go anywhere, and the constant truces were made and broken between the two due to their equality. Then, Meliodas in chapter 224 states that his and Elizabeth's curses can only be broken or destroyed by someone equal in power to them, implying that they are at least on the same level, or at least in the same tier. Since both are equal in power, it makes sense that the Demon King would be able to perform an equal feat to the supreme deity, even if he didn't create the demon world and the demons, two things that equivocate to darker versions of the supreme deity's creations, which he did create. By the very nature of the Demon King equaling the supreme deity in terms of power, he would also be bare minimum dwarf star level. Once again, the word created is directly used, meaning the demon world did not exist before the Demon King made it. It is also proven to be a separate dimension by the earlier evidence of the demon world requiring portals and gates to reach, and not just being able to be traveled to normally. So yeah, last I checked, dwarf star level is way higher than planetary, and I'm not done either. How do we go higher? Well, I'm gonna ask you a question. Does this look like a star to you? No, right? So it looks like a planet. But that means that the celestial realm has both a planet and a star, which does not automatically make it solar system level due to necessary distances between planets and stars. This creation of the celestial realm makes the supreme deity at least star level. Possibly low solar system level, but we do not have enough information to go that far, and we just can't push it because we're pushing the limits pretty hard as it is with the lore meta itself. However, you want to know what's crazy, like actually insane? Loads of characters scale to this, because all the commandments and archangels hold a fraction of their respective leaders' power. I mentioned that at the beginning of the video, I told you to remember. Every commandment holds around a 20th of their leader's power. And, fun fact, even if you take a 20th of dwarf star level, that's still safely in the large planetary ranges. And that's sort of lowballing it, considering I'm dividing from the bare minimum requirements for dwarf star level, not anywhere near the ranges for it, or like anywhere near the mid ranges or higher ranges of it. I'm literally going with the exact bare minimum. Then, of course, the archangels scale even higher than that, from Galen to Prime Meliodas, and from Sariel to Mael. All of these characters scale to portions of their dwarf star level leaders. Want to get even crazier? If we accept that the supreme deity and the Demon King are actually likely star level, then their commandment / grace imbued subordinates are all dwarf star level to small star level. This means people who are able to damage or defeat commandments / archangels also scale to this. So post-Druid Meliodas, post-Trading King, Droll's Dance, mid-series Diane, Elizabeth, Chandler, Cusack, and the original Demon. Then, of course, people who actually scale to or above the Supreme Deity and the Demon King reach those dwarf star levels to star levels on their own with no commandment / grace support. This would be Post-Purgatory Meliodas and Bon, Full Wings King, Final Shine Escanor, Droll's Dance Diane end of series, Merlin end of series, Chaos Arthur, Chaos, and Chaos Cath. Now, to address the counter arguments, first the common, "Pencil, I do not see a planet or star being created or being destroyed, and thus it did not happen, and 7 Deadly Sins characters are still barely mountain level with Wink." So, yeah, that's not the one. If you're gonna make an argument, don't let it be that one, because we know that argument doesn't really hold up that well if you just think about it for a whole 2 seconds. Because while you're right in the sense that we have not seen it on panel, that just means that the characters may not have the destructive capacity to destroy that, but they do have the attack potency to do it. They're two very similar, but different things. They are easily planetary and beyond. It's just that they cannot show it because, unlike Dragon Ball, there isn't a magical set of wish orbs just lying around to restore all the damage caused. Although, considering the Supreme Deity and the Demon King created their dimensions, it's likely that they could destroy them too. Second, it's inconsistent. That's the other argument I hear. And no, it's just power creep. Note, the commandments were hyped up to be on an entirely different world, an entirely different level than all the beginning of the series. Like the entire previous series, they had Hendrickson shook. So please, remember that power creep happens in every single series that's even remotely based around battles. Please, look at the beginning first arc of Naruto and then look at the last arc in terms of power. Look at the first arc of Dragon Ball and look at the last arc in terms of power. Power creep is something that is bound to happen for a narrative like this. For the last one I can think of, in terms of arguments, it's the people arguing that Sun and Sunshine are different things because Escanor can fuel Sunshine with his emotions. However, Ludishel himself, the brother of Mael who fought alongside him and would recognize his grace, recognized the grace with no issues at all. It was Ludishel who even declared that they were the exact same magical power, and that Sunshine was just the grace that had passed itself down to Escanor. Escanor just renamed it. So that means the two are still the same. And honestly, Escanor has never fueled Sunshine with his emotional will on his own. He only did it in response to stimulus by Gother. So there's that. If you have other debunks, drop them in the comments. I'd actually want to hear them because, I don't want to go around pushing a bad meta. That's not healthy for the community and it creates way too many problems that I would rather not have to worry about fixing. So if you can drop debunks, then sure, please do it in the comment section. This meta drastically increases the power of the verse beyond any logical conclusions made before. And to answer the question of the video, yes, Meliodas can destroy a planet. At his peak, in his true magic state, he can definitely do that and way more with his attack potency. So, if you guys want me to address any other ways the verse can reach planetary levels, like upscaling from Tarmiel or stuff like that, I definitely can. I just wanted to focus on my own meta in this video since I've been seeing it everywhere, but no one's really explained it like I have, so it always seems a little bit faulty when I see it everywhere, even though I know that it's solid. So please, just look at this video if you ever have questions about it. And from me to you, I actually have a request for this one, like a flat out request from person to person. Please share this video around. This is how we need to do it. If we're gonna make 7 Deadly Sins stronger, if you're gonna make any verse stronger, you want to do it in a clear, logical faction, backed up with scans, panels, and facts. That's what you want to do. You do not want to just go around saying stuff and then it just doesn't look good for the series and the power scaling community as a whole. It's just not a healthy thing to do. So please share this video around. I really want to help bolster 7 Deadly Sins in terms of power and give it the proper respect it deserves. But regardless, thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with a Pencil, writing off.